Hello and welcome to the Only Connect Sport Relief special. Sport Relief is a time when everyone in Britain is encouraged to engage in sporting activity for good causes. Well, here at Only Connect, we're excused. We've got a note. We've forgotten our kit and we're certainly not doing it in our pants. Round here, we don't get fit, we do quizzes. The general vibe is wheezy but knowledgeable. Speaking of which, let's meet the teams. On my right, legendary performance poet with an honorary doctorate from Salford University, that will be Dr. John Cooper Clarke. Best-selling historical novelist, author of The White Queen, The Other Boleyn Girl, among many, Philippa Gregory. And their captain, comedian, novelist, screenwriter, director, librettist and erstwhile pop star, David Baddiel. Philippa writes about Tudor monarchs, John's written a poem about the Queen Mother, and David's written a book with a quote from Prince Charles as the title. They are the Royal Three. David, I like your team name. Is it a pun or...?
It's sort of a pun on the word royalty, on royal we, and indeed Royal Free, which is a hospital in northwest London. Brilliant
wordsmithery. John, you're a poet, but your first job was as a lab technician. In a quiz, are you more of an arts or science guy?
Arts.
What are you hoping won't come up?
That's arts.
Arts, eh? Philippa, you're obviously knowledgeable about history. How were you on sport and pop music?
I'm not famously good on sport and pop music, nor on anything after about 1600.
Excellent. Well, you could be in for a bumpy night.
Yes.
You are facing, on my left, the great cellist, musical icon and ambassador for live music now, Julian Lloyd-Webber. A hero to many of our viewers, particularly as author of that great bestseller, Eats, Shoots and Leaves, A Zero Approach to Punctuation, Lynn Truss. And their captain, comedian, writer, much-loved actor and Horace Hamlet Mayer Scholar in Geography, Hugh Dennis. Lynn lives in Brighton, Julian lives in Birmingham and Hugh lives near Chichester. They are the BBC. Hugh, you and David have met before as team captains on our Children in Need special a few months ago.
Yeah.
How did you enjoy that encounter?
I enjoyed it as much as I enjoy meeting Dave, you know, any other time.
You finished an honourable second.
He's not on set.
No, I enjoyed it. We lost.
Is there anything you do differently this time?
Yeah, win, I think.
Julian, we're hoping you'll master the music question, which our regular contestants tend to try and avoid. Is there anything you hope won't come up?
I think science. I mean, they often say music and science, well, classical music and science goes together, not in my case.
Lynn, are you a quizzer? Have you seen Only Connect before?
Yes, I watch Only Connect. My best moment probably watching it was when, in the missing vowels round, something came up which was a book title, and it began T-S, S-H something, and ended up N-D-L-V-S, and I said, oh, it's something and elves! It's something and elves! And it turned out to be Eats, Shoots and Leaves, which is my own book.
Aha! Well, I mean, that is like a Bible to our regular quizzers. They'll be very excited to see you here. Our fantastic guest quizzers are giving their time in the hope of inspiring you to give something to the BBC's appeal for sport relief. Money you donate today will help the most vulnerable people in the UK and the poorest countries around the world, changing lives for the better. If you can afford to make a donation, please go to the website bbc.co.uk/sportrelief or phone 03457 910 910. Standard geographic charges for landlines and mobiles will apply. Time, I'm afraid, to play the quiz. The BBC, you won the toss. You will be going first. Which hieroglyph would you like?
Twisted flax, please.
The twisted flax. I simply want to know, what is the connection between these clues? Time starts now.
Next. Next.
Is this a famous diatribe by somebody?
Is it
somebody
part
say,
of... Is it in the
did somebody
song?
say this recently?
Is it something I don't know? Well, we'd best go for
last
next then, yeah, please. Next. Got it. Social distortion, subhumans, crass, rancid.
3 seconds. Have a guess. What might it be?
It's a political rant.
The rant,
It is not a political rant. Royal 3, do you know?
Is it punk bands?
It is punk bands.
Yes.
Did you know that, David?
I knew Crass, definitely, and John reckoned that Subhumans was definitely a punk band, and the other two sounded enough like punk bands for us to guess.
Well, of course, John, you're famously associated with the punk movement. You ever hung out with the Subhumans at all?
Quite a few.
Well done, Royal 3. You get a bonus point, and it's your turn to choose a question.
Can we have 2 reads, please?
2 reads. What is the connection between these clues? Here's the first.
Next. Any ideas?
No.
Quadrupeds. Possibly. Next. Oh, I don't know what that is. Do you know what that is?
Yeah, it's house that belongs to belong, so it might be beast of burden in legend or something. I don't know what Xanthus is.
But they're all quadrupeds. You need 4 legs. I don't think I think we're going to go for the next. We're going to go for the next one. All right. Yes, I know what it is. Sorry, I should have waited till you to tell me that. Actually, I'm going to nominate Philippa to tell you what the answer is.
They're speaking animals.
Can you be any more specific?
Well, Mr. Ed was a talking horse.
Horse,
And Balaam's ass is his ass or donkey, and it speaks to him. I think it complains to him. I'm not sure what Xanthus is, but I imagine it's some kind of beast of burden type, horse type thing that speaks. And a donkey famously speaks...
In Shrek.
In Shrek.
In Shrek.
Do you know, I was going elsewhere, but yes, Shrek, obviously.
Yes, you've got it all equines, all talking
Equines.
equines. OK. BBC, it's your turn to choose a question. Which would you like?
Go on, Lynn.
Oh, water.
Water. Ah, it's the music question, so it's just the same as the others, except you hear the clues. What connects these 4 pieces of music? Shout next when you want another one. Here's the first.
She's mine for the taking. I'm so happy at last.
That's Lost in Dawn.
Next.
What about sleeping? Is it Sleeping Beauty? Is it Sleeping...
OK. Sleep.
Sleep is the right answer. Sadly, we didn't get to hear The Lion Sleeps Tonight at Clue 4, which I was
That's
quite
very
looking
sad.
forward to. What did we hear?
We heard Nessun Dorma, certainly. We heard something from Sleeping Beauty. The first one, not so sure.
First one is Mel Torme, A Sleeping Bee. Well done, you made music with that question. Coming in after 3 clues, you get 2 points. Back to you, Royal 3 for a question.
Eye of Horus.
Eye of Horus.
Why not? The Eye of Horus. What is the connection between these clues? Here's the first.
Next. Next. OK, well, Alan Smith is a footballer, Frank Lampard's a footballer, Arthur Brown's a footballer. Frank Lampard.
Who did they play for?
Well, Chelsea, Arsenal, I don't know who Arthur Brown played for. Frank Lampard, 1972. Oh, hang on. OK. Is it footballers whose dads were also footballers with the same name?
Not the answer, I'm afraid, so there's a possible bonus point for the BBC.
The footballers were...
1999, that's 2
Ooh,
points.
there
No,
were 2
it's-
Garen Stevens playing in the league at the same time. There were 2 Frank Lampards playing... No, they can't be, because he would have retired well before.
Yeah.
It's not
Two
precise
Alan
enough for a
Smiths.
bonus point, I'm afraid. Now, Frank Lampard, you're right. He and his father both played, and the 2 dates in brackets are dates of their respective debuts for England.
Right.
Unfortunately, the other clues, it's not their fathers.
It's similar
There
names?
simply have been 2 Arthur Browns, 2 Alan Smiths, 2 Frank Lampards and 2 Gary Stevens playing for England. So these are the names of people that share their names with other players and the dates of the 2 respective England debuts. No bonus point there then, BBC, but you may choose a question.
Horned Viper, please.
The Horned Viper. These are going to be picture clues. What connects them? Here's the first.
One of those Doctor Who.
Next. Is that... OK. Next.
1812. And that's an ear. So there might be...
Well, there's Peter,
1812.
Peter and Peter.
Oh, yes, yes. 1812 must be important, mustn't it?
1812.
And wars, are they wars of something?
1812. They are battles. It's Jenkins' Ear.
Yes, yes.
You were absolutely right.
is-
Peterloo or something, I know.
It is 1812, which is Waterloo.
12, yeah.
No, just the War of 1812. It was a
The
battle
War of
between the
1812.
USA and Britain.
Yeah.
And the
And the
War
other-
of the Two Peters, yes, that is actually a war, known
Yeah.
as Guerra de los Dos Pedros.
Wars of the Roses.
And the Wars of the Roses, you didn't need that clue. You get the points. They all denote wars. Well done. So one question remains for you, Royal 3. It's the lion. What is the connection between these clues? Here's the first.
I know who that is. No, it is? No. Next. Okay, I know who that is. Yeah, she's in the killing. She's the person who was killed in the killing. Next. Who were killed, but I don't know. We don't need to know the last person, sorry, if the answer is they're just people who were killed in whodunits. Do you think that's enough?
Right.
Should we go for it? It's not Cluedo, definitely not. OK, let's go for that. People who were at the centre of whodunits, the murdered party at the centre of whodunits.
You didn't need to see the last one. Laura Palmer from Twin Peaks. They are fictional murder victims. Did I hear you say, David, it's definitely not Cluedo?
John said, is it Cluedo? I said, it's definitely not Cluedo.
On a Cluedo board, in the middle of it, you've got some stairs with a cross on it, which is where the murder victim was found. That murdered person is Dr. Black. Who were the first people? Do you know what they're from?
That's what made me think it was Cluedo, you know, because one of the murder weapons is a spanner and things.
Oh,
I
ratchet.
thought maybe there was
And a
some
ratchet.
kind of-
Yeah.
you
Just
know,
the sort of thing you'd use to murder a doctor, isn't it? A
you
spanner.
could do with one of them screwdrivers, you know, they used to call them a ratchet screwdriver.
But Samuel Ratchet is actually the victim in Murder on the Orient Express.
And who's Dr. Black?
He's from Cluedo.
Cluedo.
He's
David.
from Cluedo.
Yes.
David, what's
He's the
happening?
person who's killed in Cluedo.
David,
Yes.
what's happening? What's happening,
I
Dave?
just missed that bit.
We're lulling you.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I should have talked about it at greater length. Very well done. They are all fictional murder victims. At the end of round 1, the BBC have 4 points, the Royal 3 have 4 points. Before we move on to round 2, a quick reminder of why we're here. We're trying to raise money for sport relief, and here's how you can help. Money you donate today will help vulnerable people like these, both in the UK and in the world's poorest countries, changing lives for the better. If you're able to make a donation, then the number to ring is 03457 910 910, or you can make a donation at the website bbc.co.uk/sportrelief. Meanwhile, we are pressing on with round 2, the sequences round. I want to know what comes fourth in a sequence. Teams, you must work out the connection in your heads this time and tell me what comes fourth. BBC, you'll be going first again. Which hieroglyph would you like?
Oh, Eye of Horus.
Eye of Horus. What would be the fourth in this sequence? Here's the first.
Next. Is it editors of the News of the World or the Mirror? Or something?
Mirror.
Next. Rebecca Wade. And the current editor is... Who's the current editor of
News of the World. Oh, I've no idea.
of the News of the World? Rebecca Wade was replaced by... No, I don't know.
Oh, I don't know.
Do you know?
No.
Is
no.
it News of the World?
Well,
It is. He's the
just
current
somebody
editor.
else that we've heard. Who's another
News
famous?
of the News of the World. He's a very cheery-looking chap.
3 seconds.
Don't know his name, but he's the editor of the News of the World. Someone Collins.
Not the answer, I'm afraid. Royal 3, do you know?
Is it just terrible people?
It is. I can't give you that, I'm afraid, now. It's not the current News of the World editor, because the News of the World folded.
Is it Kelvin Mackenzie?
No, it's not even the last editor. The person who edited the News of the World after Rebecca Wade was Andy Coulson.
No, was it?
The chap who then went on to work for David Cameron. Royal 3, I'm afraid you don't get a bonus point, but you may choose a question. Which would you like?
Horned Viper, please.
The Horned Viper. What would come forth in this sequence? Here's the first.
Oh, I hate the look of that. Next. Right. Any ideas? Any ideas? 2, 3? Yeah, might be. Next. 4?
Yeah, that's
So how would it be? It'd be Asterix. Oh, it's just the vowels, isn't it? Yeah. So it's Asterix I, Asterix E.
Asterisk I, asterisk E. It is a simple inversion of our missing vowels round. It's missing consonants of the numbers. 2, 3, 4, 5. Simple as that. Well done. BBC, your turn to choose a question.
2 reeds.
2 reeds. What would be the fourth in this sequence? Here's the first.
Next.
Oh no, Spain.
Next. Catalan, so that's
There's a
in
lot of places.
Spain. So Catalan, Galician, Catalan.
So,
Well, it might be the. It could be something like the where prime ministers of Spain come from. What's another region of Spain?
Former.
3 seconds.
So what's the next one?
I haven't got a clue.
Basquian.
Not the answer, I'm afraid. Royal 3, do you want to have a go for a bonus?
OK, I'm getting Castilian over here.
Well done, John. The answer is Castilian. They are the four most common languages in Spain, and the next will be Castilian. You a Spanish speaker, John?
Not anymore. I lived in Barcelona for a year, so I did quite well, yeah, towards the end of the year. I could order a cup of coffee.
And Hugh, you didn't in the pursuit of the Horace Hamlet Mayer Geography Prize and learn any Spanish?
Enough. We didn't do the languages of the Iberian Peninsula, no.
Well done, Royal 3. You get a bonus point, and you get your own question. Which is it to be?
I'll have the twisted flax, please.
The twisted flax. These are going to be picture clues. I'd like to know what sort of thing you'd expect to see in the last picture. Here's the first.
Bobby, yes. Next. Bobby Charlton, that's a Bobby, so I guess we have to have the next one. Next. That's, what's his name? Charlton Heston, Bobby Charlton. So it's Ray Frost, Bobby Charlton, Charlton Heston. Heston Blumenthal, yeah, I think that's probably right. We're going to say Heston Blumenthal. In
The
a
very man.
That goes Ray Frost, Bobby Charlton, Charlton Heston, and then a Heston. And he's the only one we could think of.
Exactly so. Well, it could have been a picture of the Heston services, couldn't it, on the motorway?
Yeah.
Well done. BBC, your turn to choose a question.
Oh, lion, please.
Lion.
Yeah.
What would come fourth in this sequence? Here's the first clue.
Next. Next. Okay, so Felix Island, Satsuma Peninsula, Satsuma.
Oh, Thursday, Friday,
Thursday, Friday,
Saturday.
Saturday. Okay, so it's going to be sun. Sun.
We need one.
There's a place. It's just going to be a name of
Some cities are.
5 seconds.
Sun City, South Africa.
Very glamorous. We were thinking of Sunderland. But I will accept your answer. Why will I accept your answer?
Because you're very nice.
I'm really not.
It's
So
because
what's...
well, it's because it goes Thursday. German for, well, Fry for Friday, Sat for Saturday, Sun for Sunday.
That's absolutely right. They are locations hidden at the beginning of which are abbreviations of the days of the week. Royal 3, one question remains. The water. What would come forth in this sequence? Here's the first.
OK. Yeah, next. Racing drivers. Next. All right, so they must have been world champions. So I don't know who the next world champion was, unfortunately. No, James Hunt was the English one. It's the next world Formula 1 world racing champion. Is it Senna? Do you think it was? It might have been. Should we give it a go? OK. Well, we assume it's Formula 1 world champions in order, and I don't know anything about it, but we're guessing Nigel Mansell is the next one.
Not the answer, I'm afraid. So there's a possible bonus point for the BBC.
I'd say it was Alain Prost.
That's not it either.
Emerson
Is it Ayrton Senna?
It was...
Emerson Fittipaldi.
No.
You're on the right lines. It is staring you in the
Niki
face.
Lauda.
Niki Lauda.
It's Niki Lauda.
Again.
Now, yes, the clue here is that there are many people who've been champion more than once, but not James Hunt. James Hunt just pipped it in that one season, but never won again, and after that, Niki Lauda came back.
Right.
In this race, however, looking at the scores at the end of round 2, the BBC have 6 points, the Royal 3 have 9. Time now for our Sport Relief Connecting Wall. 16 jumbled up clues that the teams need to sort into 4 connected groups of 4. Royal 3, you'll be going first this time. Would you like lion or water?
What do you think?
Water.
Water, apparently.
The water wall. Quirky choice. You have 2.5 minutes to solve it, starting now.
The bottom for the rich and camp. These are all things with Rick Mail in them. Bottom for the rich and camp flap and the young ones. Oh, there's got to be one other one. That is definitely that.
Have another go.
Well, young ones, filthy rich and cat flap. New Statesman. Huh. But it's definitely something else. I don't know what else. There must be something else. Was he in something called Cake? No, he wasn't. Damn, that's really annoyed me. It's definitely things with him in them.
What about newspapers? Spectator, New Statesman?
Statesman,
Red Pepper.
Tribune.
Red Pepper.
Is that a red pepper?
That's a magazine. Magazines.
Okay.
Okay, that's not it. Now we're in trouble.
Spectator, Tribune,
Red Pepper.
Right, Tribune and Centurion is probably... Isn't that in that group, though?
Well, you're
Definitely
pretty sure Red Pepper.
Sure.
Is Quaternary?
No, okay, we're getting nowhere. Oh, has we done that?
Yeah.
Okay, so that means if we go back to Salt. What about Centurion, Quatornian, no Roman things?
Yeah, that looks
Try the young.
Legate is a Roman thing. That's a Roman thing. That's
Yeah.
presumably a Roman
So it's a
thing.
prefect.
Prefect. Yeah.
Okay.
3 strikes and you're out now.
Okay, so Filthy Rich and Cat Flap, the young ones, the New Statesman and Bottom. That's the one I just did,
Yeah,
though.
so
That
we
is
know it's
wrong.
not that.
So he must have been something else. So what about something else? Opera.
Salt, cake.
Yeah, these are words, surely. And in the maybe in the red was something with him. Should I try in the red? I've never heard of it, but maybe it was a...
Yeah.
Because this is definitely stuff with him.
That's it, you've solved the wall. So 4 points for the groups. What about the connections? Prospect, The Spectator, Tribune, Red Pepper.
These are all magazines.
They are political magazines. The Green Group, Quaternion, Prefect, Legate, Centurion.
Roman military ranks.
That's it, ranks in the Roman army. And the Pink Group, in the red, the New Statesman, Filthy Rich and Cat Flap, the young ones.
Things that Rick Mail was in.
They are things that starred the late, great Rick Mail. In the red was a sort of thriller written by Malcolm Bradbury, in fact.
okay.
And the light blue group, Bottom, Cake, Opera, Salt.
Things preceded by rock.
Yes, they
Bottom,
are. It's a
rock,
word one.
cake, rock, opera, rock, salt.
That is absolutely right. Rock bottom, rock cake, rock opera, rock salt. Very well done then. That is 4 points for the groups and the connections and the bonus. It's a maximum of 10. Time to bring back the BBC team, give them a new connecting wall and see if they can solve it. It'll be the lion wall for you because your opponents chose the water. You have 2.5 minutes to solve it, starting now.
Oh, okay. All right. Well.
Unless I'll be these are literary
These are magazines.
Fox.
TLS,
Yeah,
Granta,
Slightly Fox,
Slightly
Derby.
Fox.
They're all literary magazines. Is there another?
No, is there another one? Slightly
another
Fox,
one.
Mint Mugwort.
Plants.
Rue, is that a
I
magazine?
don't know that one.
I don't know.
You've definitely got plants. You've got lobage, cannabis, mint.
Oh yes, that's
Well,
good.
that's not a plant.
Okay. Is Mugwort a
Yeah, I
plant?
think so.
Give it a
Okay.
go.
Lovage? No, that simply
No,
doesn't.
let me-
Well, maybe we should do this again because we know that that's
Yeah.
a thing, don't we?
Yeah. Oh, New York Review books as well.
Neural review. No.
So what wouldn't be one?
Granta might not be one, I guess.
Let's leave that
Okay,
one
so
out.
Neural
So-
review, LRB, TLS.
Slightly Fox. Oh, good.
Alright, we got one.
Okay.
Now, okay, Granta is well, what is it? It's a
sounds-
pub I used to go to. Unopened. Well, unopened.
Okay, so you've got
So it's maybe there's a herb.
rue, mint.
Mint,
Rue, mint,
lovage.
lovage, and
Get rid of unclear. So
what do you think is mugwort?
Yeah. Oh,
No.
Try
okay.
cannabis.
Try cannabis.
Rue, cannabis. Cannabis, mugwort, rue.
Oh,
3 strikes and you're out now.
Okay, so ex-library, dog-eared, unopened. What about, are there anything in the middle of gear?
Oh, okay. Yeah, no.
Doodah. Doodah.
Yeah. Try it.
10 seconds.
No, I can't see them. Mint
Oh no,
condition,
that's
mint
it. You've used your 3 strikes and the wall
condition
has
book or something.
frozen.
Oh,
But
condition
2 points
for
for
a
the
book.
groups you found. What about the connections? LRB, Slightly Foxed, NYRB, TLS.
Literary magazines.
They're literary magazines. Second group, Lovage, Cannabis, Mugwort and Rue.
Herbie.
They're all words.
Herbs is better than words.
plants.
Herbs.
Okay,
Medicinal herbs, many would say. You can still get points for the connections in the groups you didn't find, so let's resolve the wall. Unopened, mint, dog-eared, ex-library.
Yeah, states of book, I suppose.
They are ways of describing second-hand books. And what about the last one? Dado or
Uncle,
Dado?
Mum, Dad, they're members of a family, aren't they?
That's right, there are relatives hidden at the beginning that evaded you during the war, but Dad, Mum, Uncle, Gran, hidden at the beginning of those words.
Clever.
But 2 points for the groups you found and 4 for the connections. That's a total of 6. Let's have a look at the scores. The BBC team have 12 points, the Royal 3 have 19. Time now for round 4, and just to keep up with the sporting theme, I've put on 1 boxing glove. I've never seen a boxing match. I assume that must be what people do. So, this is the missing vowels round. You simply tell me what are the disguise
You look like
clues.
you've got a big mutant hand.
Maybe I do have a big mutant hand. Mutant fingers on buzzers teams.
Yeah.
I can tell you that the first group are all things a tennis umpire might say. BBC?
New balls, please.
Correct. BBC?
Game, set and match Murray.
Correct. Royal 3?
Miss Williams won the toss and has elected to serve.
You're a genius. That is right.
Yes! Wow.
BBC?
Ladies and gentlemen, play is suspended.
You're also a genius. Next category, 1980s fashion trends. Royals?
Leg warmers.
Correct. BBC?
Fingerless gloves.
Correct. BBC?
Dealy boppers.
Just in time, Dealy Boppers is correct, but the bell has gone for the end of the quiz. Ding, ding. And after an amazing round 4, I would like to give you a bonus 30 points for Miss Williams won the toss and is elected to serve. But you don't need them because looking at the final scores, the winners with 21 points are the Royal 3. But
Very
the
well.
excellent close runners-up with 17 points, it's the BBC. Well done to you two.
Well played.
Thank you all so much for coming and giving your time to our charity enterprise, and thank you for watching and for making a donation. If you haven't given any money, you've basically stolen a quiz. If you have given some money, none of the world's problems is your fault. It's as simple as that. Goodbye.
Well, taking it to the extreme for Sport Relief, the 4 celebrities continue their living rough trial. Famous, Rich and Homeless on BBC One Wednesday at 9. And next tonight on BBC Two, the trial that transfixed a nation begins, and the defence take no prisoners in The People v O.J. Simpson.